Hi, this is Kevin Thomas, and welcome to the At Home Film Festival. This week, we're going to look at funny ladies that are taking dramatic turns. We're not going to do movies by Sandra Bullock like we see here with Gravity or with Julia Roberts, because they both were great at comedy and drama. But I have sought out 7 women that are primarily known for their comedic talents, but at some point or another, they made a dramatic film. Was it worth the change in genre, or should they have just stuck to comedy? Why don't we look at these 7 women right now and see what we've got? Okay, let's go. By the way, most of the movies this week can be found on Prime for just a few dollars. We're going to start off with Meg Ryan, who we all know from all of her sweet comedies, many with Tom Hanks. She was also a rom-com queen, When Harry Met Sally. But she did a couple of dramatic roles, and the most memorable I find is When a Man Loves a Woman. Oh, she should have been up for an Oscar, definitely, for this movie. She plays a wife and mother who seems to have a nice life, but she's an alcoholic. Of course, alcoholics never think they are, so it takes a lot of people in her family to get together to make her try to go to rehab and try to overcome this. She is wonderful in this film. It will make you not even think that she's a comedian, typically, because she's so at home in drama as well. And she should have done more dramas like this movie. She did a couple of other ones that I did enjoy, but none as much as When a Man Loves a Woman. I unfortunately did this movie just a couple of weeks ago, but I couldn't resist it again. Niagara with Marilyn Monroe. We all think of her as the funny, ditzy, beautiful, blonde bombshell. She did a couple of dramatic movies. I almost did Bus Stop, but that one is super famous. I also almost did Don't Bother Knock, where she plays a psychotic babysitter. But this movie really stuck with me more than any of the other ones. Niagara. Oh, she plays a wife who's not happy in her marriage. She meets some other guy. They plot to get rid of her husband. They have a secret theme song. It's very Alfred Hitchcockian, which you would never think from Marilyn Monroe. Look at her running. She's running from a man, and not one is chasing her because he wants her. He's chasing her because he wants her dead. Oh my gosh. Marilyn is so good in this movie, I have to tell you. It was worth doing again. And talk about funny ladies, no one's funnier than Goldie Hawn. She won an Oscar for a comedy. She was also nominated again for a comedy. Oh, every movie you think of with Goldie Hawn is funny, it's hysterical. But then she did Deceived, where she plays a wife, falls in love, has a great life, marries this wonderful man. But then all of a sudden, is he living a double life? Is he involved in some crime? Is he using her? Oh my God, we're gonna find all this out as we bite our nails in this thriller. And it stars Goldie Hawn. That's right, Private Benjamin Goldie Hawn. Death Becomes Her, Goldie Hawn. Foul Play, Goldie Hawn. Yes, Goldie can be dramatic. I guess no one's more dramatic than me right now. Promises in the Dark is technically a made-for-TV movie that played at the theaters. Marsha Mason, who we all know and love from all those Neil Simon comedies, very talented actress, up for 4 Oscars. 3 of them were from Neil Simon comedies. So when you see her in a dramatic role, you take pause and say, what? That's Marsha Mason? In fact, the year of this movie, she was up for an Oscar for Chapter 2. I have a feeling if she wasn't nominated for that, she could have been up for this movie, Promises in the Dark, because she was up for a Golden Globe for both movies, one for comedy actress, one for dramatic. And yes, this seems very made for TV because actually the writer who was the head writer for Love of Life, the soap opera, was trying to put this plot into the soap opera, but the studio declined for the TV studio. So he decided to quit and make it into a movie with our girl, Marsha Mason. She plays a doctor with young Kathleen Beller, also fantastic, who was up for Golden Globe. Beller plays a young woman who's got cancer. Marsha's the doctor. That sounds very formulaic, but it's really good because Beller's character really wants to know how she got it, more about the actual cancer, and Marsha Mason is good and frank in giving her the answers. So it's not a sugar-coated movie. I do like it for that and respect it for that. Yes, I could have watched it on the Movie of the Week or on Hallmark, but I'm glad I saw it at the theaters and you could see it too. Marsha Mason, the dramatic actress. Oh my goodness, then we have Melissa McCarthy in the movie Can You Ever Forgive Me? Based upon a true story, Melissa doesn't look like Melissa. She is not funny in this. It's a dramatic role where she plays a writer who was successful and critically acclaimed, but no one is buying her books. As we saw there, it's 75% off. Yet she still needs to make money, so she ends up forging letters from famous people and selling them. That's very creative and based upon a true story. She is so wonderful in this movie. You don't even think it's Melissa McCarthy. You're never expecting a punchline. And Richard Grant is also in this, who was, I think, up for an Oscar as well, because she was nominated. But it's if he wasn't up for an Oscar, he should have been. But it's a great film. She was won or nominated for up to 20 different critics' prizes because she's so fantastic in this movie. And can you ever forgive me for forgetting if Richard Grant was up for an Oscar? I just think he was so good he had to be, but sometimes Academy doesn't care. Oh my gosh, Drew Barrymore, you would never think of her as a dramatic actress, yet don't forget her in Scream. That was a career-changing and movie genre-changing performance because she is so powerful in that, and yet she's only in it 10 or 15 minutes. But another great role of hers was Grey Gardens, which is on HBO because it's an HBO-made movie. This should have gone to the theaters because if it did, her and her co-star Jessica Lange would have been up for Oscars because they were up for Emmys, and they were amazing in this, playing the Bouvier mother-daughter, who we've all known over the years because they have a cult following as Jackie O's relatives that squandered their money and lived in squalor. God, squandered in squalor. Sounds like a law firm. This movie is so terrific, and they both knock it out of the park. But I'm so impressed with Drew Barrymore because you expect dramatics from Jessica Lange, but you don't expect it from Drew Barrymore, and she is her equal in this. Wow. Then we have Doris Day. Don't forget about her. She did mostly musical comedies, and she even had a sitcom, but she did a couple of dramatic movies. She did one dramatic musical, but then she did, around the same period, 1956, these dramas. I love them all. The Man Who Knew Too Much, Julie, but the one I can't get out of my head is this one, Midnight Lace. Oh, I've talked about this one before, but I wanted to feature this one because I found a new streaming channel called Cinema Box. It's free and you can watch a lot of classic great movies there. So here she plays a wife American who goes to London, and she's getting all these threats, whether she's outside alone or on the phone. And people wonder, is she making this up? Or is she crazy? Or is there really somebody after her? Rex Harrison plays her husband. John Gavin, Kevin Heartthrob, Man in Love. He plays a worker that's very helpful to her. There he goes to her rescue. Oh my God, this movie's so good. I almost did Julie, which is a little campy and funny, but it costs you money to rent that on Amazon. But Julie is also good because I really liked it. And this movie, I think, inspired the movie Airport 75 because she plays a flight attendant. Guess what she has to do? Yes, land a plane. That was more unbelievable in the 50s, even though it wasn't believable in the 70s. But anyway, watch these dramatic Doris Day movies. Well, that's our show of the week. I hope you share, subscribe, and come back next week and comment below. As we leave, we're going to take a look at Erin Brockovich with Julia Roberts, who won an Oscar for her dramatic role here. She's more of a rom-com person, as we know, but let's still pay tribute. I also almost put on the list Diane Keaton because she's done so many great comedies and she did a lot of drama, so she's not really pigeonholed to do one. She's just super talented. Who did I miss that you think is a very funny actress that made a great dramatic turn that I should have featured? Let me know below. Until then, I will see you next week. Thanks so much. Bye-bye. Oh.